Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to my daily talk. My name is Barry Selby. If you haven't seen my broadcast before, let me introduce myself formally, which is this. I am a best-selling author, speaker, and relationship attraction expert, helping strong, successful women find balance in love, life, and business. Emotional, passionate champion for the divine feminine. And if you haven't watched my broadcast before, and it's actually an odd time, so I'm not sure people are going to catch this broadcast live. You may see it in the replay. Where are we going with this? Oh, if you haven't seen my broadcast before, I do these every day. These are my daily Facebook Live talks that go to YouTube and other places too. And the theme is, or the overarching title is Messages from the Masculine to Inspire the Feminine Heart. And today's topic, number 297. Yes, I do a lot of these. In fact, Wednesday's going to be my 300th, I think, at this rate. So I invite you to join me then, especially. It should be fun. But today's topic is actually inspired by a journey I've had recently, actually the last several years. And so it's a personal story, and hopefully give you some teaching points too. So the title of today's topic is, Ladies, are you taking the driver's seat? And I'm going to say this first and then explain what I mean by it before you jump on me on this. And what I'm going to say is, you shouldn't. And I'll explain why in a moment. So don't jump on me yet, because I'll explain the context of what I mean by this, because you're going to go, what do you mean by that? It's like, no, I want to run my life and do everything. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about relationships, especially. So let me tell you a story first. And then explain where I'm coming from. This past Tuesday, I got my driving license back. Yes, my driving license wasn't mine for a bunch of years. In fact, I have not been legally able to drive for 5 years. Yeah, I'm being really transparent about this. Basically, because of unpaid tickets. I didn't take care of something. I didn't get actually an unpaid ticket. Then I ended up getting a suspended license ticket because I didn't know I was suspended when I got pulled over. Bottom line was I had a massive fine that I couldn't pay. I should say I didn't choose to pay and didn't choose to save up for. That's just the way it was. So Tuesday, I got my license back, and I was talking to a friend about it this morning. I got my license back. It's such a cool feeling. And I said it was so tiring, and this is where it hit me, like being the passenger in the car. It's very hard on a date to be a masculine man in the passenger seat and have the woman drive. There's an energetic feeling. It's kind of weird. And what I'm noticing as a reflection is like, oh yeah, how many women do I know? How many women do you know? Are you one of those women who, in relationship, tends to take charge and lead the way? And that's what I mean by driver's seat, especially in a relationship. Now, in your life, that's a whole different conversation, and I have a whole piece about that I'm working on to tell you and to inspire you and invite you to go deeper into owning your power in the world. But in a relationship, it's a strong suit if you let the man lead by letting him drive. Now, I mean, in the car metaphor, he's driving, you're a passenger, so you get to enjoy the ride, and you get to receive the journey whilst he's directing, leading, and making things happen, which is masculine and feminine polarity. But in your romantic relationship, outside of the car, in your home, etc., life, etc., it's good to be the navigator without being the director. I'll explain that in a moment. Because it just hit me. It's like, what do I mean by that? I'll tell you in a moment when I get to know what it is. So when you're in a relationship, women, ladies, if you're driving and he's not in charge of something or running something or directing or doing something in charge, it tends to push him out of his masculine. And when you're driving, which for most people is a directed aspect, it is a masculine energetic. So be aware, period. Because I'm not saying we should never drive and have him be in the passenger seat. But if you're doing that constantly, you're actually switching your natural polarity if you're naturally masculine and feminine in male and female genders. Let me try that again, because I'm not sure it makes sense. So again, if you're driving together in that metaphor, if you're driving all the time and he's riding as passenger, then he's more in the feminine energetic and you're more in the masculine energetic. And if that's natural for you, that's fine. But for most people, men and women are aligned with the masculine and feminine energetics normally. Now, again, I said this yesterday more deeply. We carry both masculine and feminine within us. But our polarity of how much masculine one has and how much feminine the other one has is what creates the polarity and the attraction and really the chemistry of relationships, what keeps you together. And so, and I talked this last year about how to recharge those batteries. I'm not going to do that here, but it's something we talked about before, how if you're a masculine person who's out of alignment with your masculine, you can recharge the batteries to strengthen your masculine. And if you're a woman and you're feminine and you're losing track of it because you've been too much in the business world, there are ways of recharging, reconnecting to your feminine as well. Not yet. Okay, I'm watching what's coming through. So, the Oh, what was I going to talk about? Navigation. Oh, yes. In relationship, ladies especially, this is for you directed intentionally because you're my main audience, your ability to let things happen for you, have him lead and direct things so you can relax and enjoy being your feminine, is a beautiful expression, a beautiful experience. It's a very healthy thing to do. If you are... Oh, I had 4 words come out that weren't polite. Let me try something nicer than that. If you are tending to second guess him and course correct him at every single moment, first of all, it's really painful to be on the receiving end of that. And secondly, you're actually taking him out of his masculine because you're directing him into the feminine because he's taking orders from you, being receptive, which is the feminine energetic. Again, if that's not your natural polarity, it's going to suck. So I don't recommend that. There's another piece that's going to come back. I know it will. Okay, we'll see that. I've had a long day, so I'm not sure it will stick if it's all in my head, but I think the idea is to talk about these things. So, in life, ladies, it's okay to offer your man suggestions and ideas, things you want to do together, because frankly, for us as men, it makes our life easier, and we don't mind that at all. At the same time, if you demand everything be in a certain way based on your requirements, you're either henpecking or you're in a masculine. And neither one's effective in a healthy sexual relationship. You can swap roles occasionally, but if it's always that way, it sucks. And for the man, being second-guessed, being course-corrected, being reprimanded for being wrong, it is not easy to be in a healthy relationship and certainly masculine that way. It's not. I can speak from experience. It sucks. You end up dropping to your beta. What's we're looking for? There's a word for it, and it'll come back to me in a second. It's basically being a subservient energetic and not being the strength. So for women, if you want a strong masculine man, you really want to make sure that you offer encouragement, you prize as well, and you challenge him without deriding or denying or overriding him. I think that makes sense. So that understanding can shift your whole relationship. So the idea about being the driver in the car, as the initial title, is... Are you running the show? Now, in your life, that's fine, especially when you're single. In love, you might want to let him do that. The masculine energetic is in the leadership, taking charge, getting things done. The feminine is being along for the ride in a sense. Now, I want to be careful because I realize that whole piece I just dropped out of the window there. Let me bring that back in again. Ladies, I talked yesterday about this. It was my manifesto that came through without me planning. There is a great need on the planet now for your feminine leadership. So let me speak to this, that, and that, because I'm not contradicting myself. In the world, feminine leadership is definitely needed, more than ever, more now than ever. I've talked about this before, and I'm talking about it more now because it's more evident for me to speak about it. In your relationship, you can be a feminine leader with a man who's in his masculine leading as well. This is a powerful dance of elevated relationship. This is a more mature way of doing a relationship. So, ladies, when you let a man lead in his masculine, you can lead in your feminine, but it works together versus pushing one down or the other one down. And that, I would say, in some ways, is the epitome of an evolved and conscious and healthy relationship. Now, one caveat I want to put in there, one sidebar, is things we're talking about with masculine and feminine are not gender-based, as I mentioned earlier. They can be the reverse, but also for gay relationships, lesbian relationships, however you want to call those, there's a masculine and feminine polarity in the relationship too. Because two masculine energies, whether it's in men, women, or either, are not attracted to each other sexually. Two feminine energies are not attracted to each other in relationship. It's just not polarity. It's not polarity. So it's like putting two north poles together, two north pole magnets together. They won't connect. They won't attract. The attraction in relationship comes from the masculine and feminine polarity, regardless of the physical bodies. So gay couples or straight couples, these rules still apply. The masculine energy is the leading energy. The feminine energy is the receiving energy. Now, as I said, there's feminine leadership required, which is really a wide view. I'm going to phrase this. Because masculine is single focus, that's the masculine energetic. The feminine energy is more inclusive because it's cooperative, collaborative, and wide view. So it sees a lot more what's going around. So by having that understanding, you can be in a relationship with a man and have that without treading on his toes. It's actually very powerful. I may go into that another time, but I want to just drop that seed in your thoughts. So, I think I made my point enough times. Ladies, if you're in the driver's seat, know that you're doing that first of all, and let the man still lead, even from the passenger seat. The reason why I'm talking about this, by the way, and we'll get back to what I said at the beginning about my driving license thing, is that for many times I've been out with female friends and they've been driving, and I felt myself like doing this energetically. It wasn't necessarily them, it was me. So I'm just saying about my own experience. I wasn't taking up my space. It started happening later on where I started figuring out what was going on, because I didn't realize I was doing it. But when the woman's driving for the man, be aware, first of all, to see what is going on, to know that there is a opportunity to align with your natural polarity, whether you're in the driver's seat or the passenger seat. Because if you're not aware of it, it may not happen, and you could end up being out of alignment and not getting the relationship you really want. There was another piece, but it's gone. I think that was it. I think that is it, yes. Yep, that's it. There's nothing else in the bucket. By the way, if you haven't watched my broadcast before, this happens a lot. Not the ending, but the fact that I get downloads as I'm talking, and then I just use them until they run out, so I can give you content that is through me, but not always from me. Just the way it works. I'm not channeling anything. Just I know I get these insights that drop in, and I want to share them. So that's today's. Thank you for watching my broadcast. And by the way, if you're someone who's looking for more help in the area of love and relationships, especially, that's my speciality. That's why especially. If you go to my website, I'm offering what I'm calling right now, what I've changed the name to, is a complimentary clarity conversation. If you go to my website and click on the Let's Chat menu choice, you can get signed up for that now. It's a free 30-minute conversation, my gift to you. If you are looking for more support in the area of love and relationships, and you want to just browse what I do, you go to my website, which is barryselby.com, and you click on my online program, my coaching. These videos live on the video blog page. They also end up on the YouTube channel, which is Barry Selby. YouTube, and the username is Barry Selby. The playlist is Messages from the Masculine, and also they end up on my business page on Facebook, which is barryselby.author. If you want to reach out to me over social media, you can. If you have any questions, comments about this broadcast, please put them below. And again, this is number 297 in ongoing series of daily talks with Messages from the Masculine to inspire the feminine heart. That means 3 more till 300. It's going to be fun. So thank you for joining me. Thanks for being with me as always. And I gave an assignment last night, which I'm not going to remember what it was from last night. But I would invite you to look at last night's broadcast. I did throw out some interesting homework. But I will say this as a homework for tonight, because I do offer homework every time. Look in your life where you find yourself in the masculine or feminine energetic, where you're leading or following. And just be aware of it. Not doing anything about it, not trying to fix it, and not judging it. Just be aware of it. And see where that tends to lead you. As you watch those paths, see which feels good and which doesn't. And then act accordingly. There's your homework. I'll see you again tomorrow for another broadcast. Thanks for watching. And please share it with anybody you think should watch this. I appreciate that as well. And I'll see you again tomorrow.